Love this podcast? Support it and sponsor today. Simply head to AuscastNetwork.com for details.
What's that, boy? Dad! Over there! Is that a Yeti?
It's just his hair, son.
At last! Saved after all these years! Stuck up this cursed mountain, licking moss with only a crow for a friend. How'd you find me?
Just walking the dog. Need a lift back down?
Room for a crow?
Adventures never far with the Land Rover Discovery Sport. Now £339 per month on Land Rover personal contract hire.
Oh, heated seats.
Land Rover. Above and beyond.
Initial rental £4,068. 48th month term. Subject status. 8,000 miles per annum. Conditions apply. Offer ends 31st of March. Participating retailers only. Such Land Rover offers.
Authentic communication is really powerful. When you communicate exactly what you want, you instantly become more appealing. I'm Kari Watt. I'm a communications specialist, speaker and writer, and I'm here to be your digital coach, where I give you guidance on how to communicate better in your career and relationships, or on anything you want to ask me. Because communication is my thing, I want to see you become a better communicator, no matter where you are in the world, how old you are, or what you do for a living. Now, if you're new to my podcast, please subscribe to encourage that I'm actually making a positive influence. And if you're not new and haven't subscribed, come on now, what are you doing? Can you help a girl out? Now, the ability to communicate and express yourself in an authentic way is actually one of the keys to success in both business and in life. Like it or not, we are a social society. This means even self-proclaimed introverts like myself, which are people who prefer to work with animals or computers, have to interact with people. Now, authentic communication is not simply about saying what we think. Making a real connection with someone reduces conflict. It will improve your relationship. It limits misunderstandings, and it paves the way for good things like career growth and worthwhile life events. It just makes everything better and easier. Now, some people are naturally charismatic and empathetic. They seem to draw others to them and generate that trust and loyalty. And if you pay particular attention to these people, you'll find they have some common techniques which you should take note of. When I first started to speak at events, I was actually really nervous. But then I watched other speakers, how they drew the crowd in, how they made those connections. And with years of working in the corporate and entertainment industries, I've learnt how to make those connections, and these are the tips that I want to share with you
on the Kari Cares podcast.
So let's talk about what being authentic really means. Well, to me, being authentic is being real when it comes to communication. It's about what we're experiencing inside, not our perceptions of someone else. As we uncover and express how we deeply feel, this involves being transparent and being vulnerable. This is where it gets tricky in the business world, because sometimes it's exposing something tender about ourselves. Naturally, our deep, most vulnerable feelings are a large part of what makes us human. We can all agree that our society is becoming more isolated because we often reach out on social media or through email rather than having that person-to-person interaction. And it's here that I need to remind you and myself that we really need to be more authentic and have that person-to-person interaction, especially with the people we want to create trusting relationships with, whether it's someone at home like family or friends, or perhaps it's your boss at work or a colleague.
On the Kari Cares podcast.
Remember when you were a child? You knew exactly how to be. You knew what made you tick, laugh, and enjoy life. And over the years, you let that go with social conditioning, whether it was from parents or perhaps it was somebody else's influence. Maybe it was something you watched on TV or read on social media or watched at the movies. The point is, something inside of you changed. Now, this happens to everyone. It's normal. And I'd like to point out, spending time with kids opens up those channels that we long forgot. Every time I spend time with my nephew, Taj, He reminds me of the person I used to be as a child. I have to remind myself that I need to explain things to him so that he understands, because just saying no to a child is not enough these days. They're actually smarter than what we were. They pick things up so quickly. And you would know this if you have children. The innocence and reality of human compassion and being free to ask for what we want is inherent in children. They're not scared to ask for the things that they truly care about. Now, most of us want to be authentic, even if we're unsure what that means. Well, that's the paradox of the modern version of be yourself. Rather than searching within, most of us try to match what our authentic self means to others. Now, Henry David Thoreau, who was an American essayist, poet, and philosopher, said, "Be yourself, not your idea of what you think somebody else's idea of yourself should be." We often think we should be how other people see us. But believe me when I say this is not really you. It's only an idea of you. The idea is only a guessing game, and it's not really the inner you. I'd like to point out that being you is not about standing out or being different to others. It actually means following your path. It's not about comparing yourself to others. Like when you try to be different, you actually disconnect from what you really want in life. And it leads you down the garden path of a road that is pretty difficult at times. When you try to be something you're not, self-development no longer is a meaningful journey. The mandate to become different turns you into anything but joyful or authentic. Now, authentic is about staying true to what you believe, not about your image. And it's about being brave to express your feelings and opinions. But don't confuse being genuine with permission to do whatever you want or say, though. I mean, you have to remember the situation you're in. If you're at work, be transparent. Don't say what's really going on in your mind, because you might scare the other person. And it might come across as, aggressive or unrealistic. We have to keep our emotions at check in these times. And most people do that, but some people get angry and want to say what they want to say and they get frustrated. So this is where you need to have a little reality check with yourself. And being authentic doesn't mean about being static. Your interests will change over time, as does your identity. So changing your mind is okay. Remember, don't get stuck in your own story. What do they say about women? We can change our minds 100 times or 1,000 times. I truly believe in today's society, it's okay to change your mind as long as you can back it up. In your 20s, you had different ideas and wants and needs than in your 30s. And same when you hit your 40s and 50s. So don't get stuck in your own story. Changing your mind is completely okay.
On the Kari Cares podcast.
So how do you reclaim the real you? Let's start with becoming self-aware. When you meet new people, engage with them. Especially in meetings, introduce yourself, ask them how long they've been in the company. Have those little connection times, spark up a little conversation before the meeting. You can also spend time with different social groups. Observe how you feel in each situation. When you observe and you're self-aware, you'll also recognize when you're feeling uncomfortable, and you'll begin to understand why. And you'll naturally signal to yourself to be intentionally authentic. You also need to find genuine connections, right? So understand the people around you. Ask thoughtful questions and listen intently. By developing a genuine connection with someone will help you feel genuine and authentic yourself. Remember, nothing is perfect, so don't try to be. It's impossible. It really is. Therefore, if you try to be perfect, you're also being disingenuous. I mean, I used to be a perfectionist, in my work, in my 20s, I was a perfectionist. And I tell you now, it was exhausting trying to be perfect. This is where you have to embrace your imperfections. I know I do all the time, and dare to be slightly vulnerable at work. Now, when I talk about being vulnerable, this can also mean being transparent. You don't have to share your darkest secrets with your work colleagues or, clients. Actually, they probably don't want to know. Your work colleagues are not your friends. They are your work colleagues, so you need to have respect and, set some boundaries when you communicate with them. Just be transparent about your capabilities and expectations. You'll be amazed where this can take you. Also, a key to reclaiming the authentic you is to be fully present. Now try to be more present in your conversations and at home in your relationships. Be an active listener. Give the person your full attention. Mastering the art of presence is perhaps the most effective way to ensure you're being authentic in any situation. I go into more detail about this in my online course, Mastering Communication. And if you'd like to know more about that, please get in touch through LinkedIn, Twitter, or Facebook and send me a private message, or in a post, just put #KariCares. You'd like to know more about Mastering Communication, and I will send you some information and a little something extra because you're listening to my podcast. When you're truly authentic, communication becomes really easy and you connect with people in a much more fulfilling way. You will create more intimate relationships, whether it's at work or at home. So remember that. You'll become closer to your work colleagues, you'll become a trusted advisor to your boss or to senior leaders and to your customers. You naturally will become a better leader. This means more success, and it also creates a clear vision of where you want to be in your career. I say experiment, find yourself, and accept the challenge of being the real you today. Thanks for listening. Please subscribe for some good vibes, and because it's free, give this away. Share it with friends or colleagues who could use a little help. Give it to them because they can listen to it privately, and it may significantly change the outcome of their lives. See you next time, because communication is my thing and now it's your thing. Well, I hope it's your thing. I hope it becomes your thing. Is it your thing?
On the Kari Cares podcast.
Love this podcast? Support it and sponsor today. Simply head to AuscastNetwork.com for details.